Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Uncharted 2 Remastered brutal difficulty walkthrough. This is the 5th part of the game, and it is Urban Warfare. So anybody who played the Uncharted 2 demo way back when will remember this sequence, because this was what the demo showed you. And it's probably the most iconic part of the game for me, because I love how it looks. And I think the pacing, the design, the combat on all of these skirmishes in this town, it's just masterfully crafted. And most of this game is masterfully crafted, even though I have my disagreements with, you know, the fundamentals of the gameplay. All of it up to Mission 22. The monastery level needed to be cut in half. It needed to be completely redacted, some parts of it, because it's way too long and it throws the pacing off massively. But I'm going to talk about that later. So, right there you can stealth everybody on the street if you know the pattern, and the pattern's quite simple, you just have to be very bold. Oh, additionally, I don't know if you can get past the truck without shooting it, but I recommend not shooting your AK if you can get away with it, because you'll just have more ammo going into some of the fights coming up. And some of the fights coming up are pretty tricky. The good news is, I've got a really nice checkpoint exploit that I'm going to be using to get past one of them, and it involves dying, but after you die, you'll respawn past the section, so it's okay. It's a bit of a death exploit, I suppose you could call it. I have a few moments where I'm going to be skipping spawns completely, entirely, later on in the game. I've got a couple of really good strategies for certain places, but for the most, it's just going to be, you know, hard work and elbow grease. So, jump into the bathroom. The bathroom gives way. Beautiful looking game. I love the fact that it's now at a higher frame rate, though it must be said, I have this on the max sensitivity, as I tried to jump there and it didn't work. Gotta love that, the weird detection on the jumping. But you can't turn the camera very fast in this game, and I think it's probably the only reason it runs at 60 frames per second, because the camera is so slow, and I've come off Transformers Devastation where the camera moves like lightning, so the contrast it's really jarring, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves in any game, when the turning of the camera is too slow, because I'm one of those people that I love to I'm like a goddamn meerkat. I like having heads up all the time and knowing where things are. So if you slow the camera down, the only thing you're doing is hindering my ability to see, and I'm going to blame your game. And you don't want me to blame your game, because you want your game to be awesome. Or at least I do. So this is a tricky fight. It's a big checkpoint, and the problem here is there's a shield guy on the second wave on this original checkpoint who's just a tosser. I have one grenade, and that's my best bet of killing him, but I just never really get it to work too well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a path to get through this first sequence using kind of stealth. And what we're going to do is we're going to rush where the enemies spawn from, because it's going to give us a checkpoint. We're going to trip an invisible checkpoint, and what's going to happen is the rest of the enemies are going to come to us, we're going to kill them, and then every enemy that turns up is going to spawn on us and murder us instantly. And then when we respawn, we're going to be past this first encounter, so it works really well. But I'm having a little gunfight here against a couple of these earlier folks. But I think the level design here, it's so beautiful. There's so much colour, and in a generation of games, especially the PlayStation 3, there's a lot of games on the PS3 that look fucking brown. One of my favourite games on that system, Resistance: Fall of Man, is a brown-ass game. Metal Gear Solid 4: Sons of the Patriot is a brown-ass game, like, so much brown. And then this game comes out with all its colour. Like, there are pipes in this level that are just blue. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a blue pipe, but I love them because they look wonderful. And right now is me rushing past that spawn to get to this corner. Where I'm stood is exactly where the spawn's going to happen. I could change this strategy to maybe sit behind the washing machine so I could instantly spawn grenade the people where I am, but this is a one take, guy. You there, just there. Watch this. Every single fucking dude in the world just turned up right then. But the checkpoint's super kind. It's going to put you where I started just then. I'm going to come up onto this roof, and then from here, I'm going to get rid of the shield guy with a grenade, hopefully. And then I'm going to use this piece of wall to do some cover shooting. And be careful, because you're immediately going to get flanked, so you want to be careful. Do not do that side. You see the holes in the bricks? They're going to get you killed. Fuck those bricks. Silly bricks. He's got a grenade to try and shoot him, and of course I missed, because I needed to, and thus I miss. The FAL, interesting weapon. It enables you to push the right analog in and get a first-person scope, which is pretty damn accurate and really useful. It fires in triple bursts, and it's useful, but just for suppressive fire, I think the AK is better, because it's full auto. Assault rifle-wise, the M4 by far is my favourite. It just works better. I don't know if it's a placebo on me, but I think it's just a superior weapon. So, here comes this guy. This is the corner trick, by the way. Third-person shooter parlor trick, which is going to win every game. And then the music stopped, so I think we've won. But we haven't technically won just yet, because there's a truck that's going to turn up with a turret on it. And if you can get a really good grenade, you can end the fight before it begins. But I don't think you're going to see that. Instead, you're going to see me running around picking up a ton of ammo. I've kept this in because there's going to be a fight very shortly. And it just gives you an idea of how I got all the bullets that I'm going to take on the next encounter with. But did you see that? 3 bullets. It's so depressing. And I don't think taking ammo away makes your game harder. I think it just makes it more awkward. Like, does it make it harder? Empirically, you know, objectively, definitely. Because it puts you in a situation where you have to go out in the open, and going out in the open is a death threat. It's a death warrant that is paid for and signed by, you know, Jesus, which is annoying. But I just don't think it's good difficulty. I never have that kind of bullshit. That's me trimming out picking up a ton of ammo, by the way. Like, I think what I would have done with Brutal is I would have kept the damage as high as it is, but I would have made the regen faster, so that it gave you something. Or I would have increased the bullet damage on your guns, so that enemies died in 1 to 2 shots, or 1 headshot and then as many body shots as it normally takes, and then it would have been amazing. And then I would have made the guns shoot where you aim them, like they were fucking lasers, because it's a video game. I don't want realistic Coriolis effect or random spray probability patterns. You know, I'm not playing this to get a realistic military shooter experience. If I wanted that, I would go with Operation Flashpoint, and I stopped playing Operation Flashpoint on the PC a very long time ago, because I didn't want to run across a field for 2 hours and then the first sign of an enemy I get instantly murdered. I have to run back across a 2-hour field. But here's a fight, anyhow. The hardest part about this fight is the fact that you're kind of on a bit of a disadvantage, but you need to use the disadvantage to your advantage, and that is, of course, clipping the tits off of this with a nice head glitch. And, of course, if anybody comes close, sticking your gun in their mouth, feeding them lead. So, this is the perfect height for getting cheeky headshots. And a cheeky headshot is a headshot that you shouldn't be able to get, but you do get it and it makes you smile. Additionally, there are 2 snipers across from us here. I'm going to use this piece of concrete and the clipping technique I've explained to get a good advantage on them. And just look at this. This is not fun. Oh, by the way, you can push the analog in and get a little bit of a zoom, but it doesn't really help. It doesn't make the gun any more effective either. There's one guy left now, I believe. He's up on the balcony, and I was absolutely terrified of him because I couldn't remember where the checkpoint was. So you're going to see me be really anxious here, really nervous and patient. You don't have to be. Just shoot him. It's just that one dude. That being said, he can kill you in the space, you know, in the time it takes to fart, so be careful. But you should be okay. So I'm waiting for him to put the magnum round through him, and of course, I think I missed. It's very tense. And they always troll you too. Oh, there you go. See you later. No idea why that made him do that, but it's like the cowboys from the Old West, so I do enjoy it. Shoot the lock, but don't use the magnum, for heaven's sake. And then let in, is her name Chloe? I just call her Ugly Face. Because both of the girls in the Uncharted games, like, the visuals on these games are really wonderful, but all the ladies, real unattractive. Like, just not getting any of the vibes that you should get from the damsels in these kind of adventures. But maybe it's sticking with the whole Indiana Jones theme, because I never thought some of Indiana Jones's ladies were very attractive. But maybe that's just me, you know. Beauty is subjective, the eye of the beholder and all that. But earlier on, you'll notice that I was talking a lot about mechanics, and you'll notice that I was mentioning things that I just think pull the game down. So I thought it'd probably be a good opportunity now, while it's a little bit quiet, to just mention a few things that get often overlooked about this game. And that is, it is absolutely beautiful. Like, it is such a good looking game. From a design perspective, from a hardware perspective, you know, just fundamentally beautiful in all aspects of it. And sure, Drake runs kind of weird and some of his animations look like he needs to take a shit, but it just... There are no two areas reused at all, really. There's always something new to see. Like, did you see that room we just went through? There was a purple corridor for no reason at all, just because they could. And I'm so glad they did, because I think the purple corridor is wonderful. But there's so much character and touches and moments of just beauty, like this. It's essentially like a greenhouse garden place, indoor, where nothing happens. But it's just there, and it's got really nice lighting, and it just lifts you up because it's got a really good colour palette. And, you know, the next room might be an absolute massacre where you turn into a genocidal maniac and everyone's laughing and smiling while you kill human beings, and then everyone laughs it off afterwards. But it doesn't matter, because it was so beautiful, that little moment in the garden. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next mission. You take care now.